Welcome, welcome. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for this week's midweek medicine. Hey, I'm grateful and thankful that you have joined us for this episode. My name is Lamar, Toulouse, and I am grateful to be able to encourage you and inspire you by the word of God. So let's dive into it. Get you a Bible, your tablet, or a phone, something to use to go into the word of God. And look, for this week's midweek medicine, what I would like to do is take a thought from our Sunday's message. Sunday we talked about I'm risen and I'm running, coming from Hebrews, the 12th chapter, verse 1 and 2. Hey, go back and watch that episode of Sunday's message and catch up with us. You can watch it afterwards. But I'm tying in a thought that was taken out of that message for this week's midweek medicine. And this is the thought that we had from Sunday's message. And I want you to go to Hebrews with me, the first chapter, verse 1 and 2. Hebrews, the first chapter, verse 1 and 2. And this is the thought. If God designed a race for you, guess what? He also designed you for the race. And I want to speak on that for this week's midweek medicine. If God designed a race for you, he also designed you for the race. Hebrews, the 12th chapter, verse 1 and 2, just for the word in our hearing. He says, therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, those that have gone before us, who ran their race, and the race that was set before them. And as we see in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, you can go through that to see the hall of faith, we call it, how through their obstacles, through their struggles, through the circumstances that they face, they found themselves relying on God and by faith going through those trials. And so now you find yourself maybe in a circumstance or a situation or a trial. He says, look to those that have gone before you who obtained a good report. Their report card said they were found faithful. My question to us and to you today is, will you be found faithful in the thing that God has called you to? So he says to us, let us lay aside every weight, excuse me, and the sin which so easily ensnares us, which we're not focusing on that one. We focused on that on Sunday's message. But what I'm going to focus on is let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Now, when we think of that word endurance there, we think of, the pressures, the obstacles that you have to go through. And when in endurance, as you're maybe lifting weights or you're running or whatever, at points of time you get tired. Have you ever gotten tired in the race that you feel that you called to? And when you get tired, sometimes you get to the place to where I want to give up and I want to give in. And then you may questions pass by you, did I miss God in this race? Why am I at this point? Why? We ask that famous question, Lord, why me? Have I missed God? Have I come to the place to where I want to give up and I want to give in? Or what? Look, is this really the race that I'm supposed to be running? Is God really with me in this race? Maybe I missed him somewhere. I know that's questions that go through our mind and go through our thought. But let me tell you something. If God designed the race, I'm telling you, he also designed you for the race. He didn't bring you this far to leave you or to forsake you. It's something in the race that he has given you to do, and it's something that he's called you to. But when we get worried and when we get tired, you got to stop for a second. As I said Sunday, you got to kind of do like a pit stop, like you do in racing. You got to pull over to the side and maybe change your wheels and get some more fuel to understand that, look, the race is not given to the swift. It's not given to the strong. It's given to those that endure. It's time and chance that happens to all of us. It's how you're going to finish the course that is most important. But let me tell you this. If he designed the race and he designed you in the race, guess what? He also designed you to finish the race. But it's up to you to do the finishing. So today I want to talk to us from just 3 points that we want to talk about today. I want to talk about the course that he's designed. I want to talk about the Christian that he's designed. And I also want to talk about the Christ in the whole situation. The course, the Christian, and the Christ. Come on, let's get into it. The course, the Christian, and the Christ. First, let's focus on the course. So, as we said in the course, he designed the course. So, look, God set it up. God made it. But watch this. He didn't make it to destroy you, because the question that you may ask yourself, if God designed the course, then why did he design it with so much hardship? Why is it designed with so many obstacles? Look, it's not designed for those. It's designed, but there's an enemy and the adversary that comes in to steal, to kill, and to destroy. You have an adversary. So the adversary is throwing these roadblocks. The adversary is throwing these obstacles. The adversary is throwing these circumstances. But God has a way to detour us. Why? Because he knows the course. He knows the place that he's trying to get you to. As it says in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans. This is the Amplified version because I wanted to see us. In the King James, he says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you. Look what he's saying. I know the plans and the thoughts that I have for you. So, look, if he designed the course, he knew he had you on his mind when he designed it, and he purposed you for it. So, therefore, he knows the plans. So, look, when the enemy comes and try to throw obstacles, God got the blueprint. He got the map. He got the course. So he knows where you position that, and he knows where he's trying to get you to. So when the enemy comes into like a flood to try to destroy you, God knows to lift up a standard to get you through it. So yes, you may have times where you may have to rest, and times where you may have to wait, and times where you're not hearing God, but you know that he has called you to this thing. In those times, you are to be still and know that he is God. Why can I be still in the midst of these storms, in the midst of these trials, in the midst of these circumstances? I can be still because he has the plan. Because God has the plan, and he knows the thoughts that he has for me. So I'm not going to lean to my own understanding, but in all my ways, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to acknowledge him, and I'm going to allow him to direct the course that he has for me, to direct the plan that he has for me. For plans for peace in my well-being and not for disaster. So yes, the course that you're on may look like a disaster, but what looks like a disaster, God is calling you to dominate in the disaster, because he's bringing you to a place of victory. Yes, it looks like a mess right now, but the mess is his masterpiece. He's creating in you. Look, he's making a way where there seems to be no way. He's working together, taking the disaster and working it together for your good. For where you would have given up right before victory, he's calling you to just stand still, to just keep the course. As it would be said, to mark time. You know, when you don't know what to do, as my mother would often say to me, she said, sometimes you just have to mark time. That means you don't know which way you're going yet. You don't know what direction it is, but I'm still showing God that, God, I'm still marching for you, that, God, I'm still focusing on you. I'm not putting my focusing on nothing else but you. But until you give me a direction, I'm going to mark time, march. And I am going to be prepared and ready to move when he said to move. Because he knows the plans. Even though it may seem like a disaster, there is a future and a hope that he has for us. So God knows the plan. He created the course. He made it and designed it specifically for you, as it says in Hebrews the 1. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that was set before us. So he set the race up for us. He planned it. And watch this. He didn't build it to break you. He built it to build you. He didn't build it to destroy you. He built it to grow you. So the circumstances and the situations that you face, the hardships, haven't come to take you out. It has come to call you out, for you to know that there's more in you than you're giving yourself credit for. That he has created you in a way for the course that you're set on to produce something for him, for his glory, and for your benefit. So how is he doing this? Let's focus in on the word endure here and understand that the course that is made, the course is built for endurance and to build faith. So therefore, it's set in a way for you to be able to endure and for you also to grow in faith. Remember when Jesus was praying and he sent his disciples away into a boat to go to the other side. And he's in the mountain praying. And as he's praying, he walks to them on the water. And they are in the middle of the sea. And the storm is boisterous around them. And here he comes walking to them. Did he not know that the storm was coming? Did he not know that they were in the middle of the storm? Yes, he knew those things. But what was he doing? He was trying to build their faith. And he was building endurance in them for them to understand that no matter the storms around you, as long as you're focused on him in the storm, then look, you're focusing on the word that he said. He gave them the command to go to the other side. And as long as I'm under that command, no matter what's going on around me, it cannot destroy me because he has given me the instructions to go. So the course is building endurance and the course is building faith. So now let's look at this. Look, the course is a calling. See, the course that's designed for you is calling you to it. It's drawing you. What's a calling? A calling is something that you are drawn to. You keep trying to put it down, but it keeps popping itself up. You keep trying to give up on it, and it keeps calling your name. You can't get away from it. You don't even want to go that direction, but that direction is just calling you because you've been equipped to help people in that area, and God has set it on your heart to do so. I think of those that are called in the teaching profession or in public service or just as a teacher. You know, we talk about the funds that they may receive and the money that they may make, and oh man, we not paying teachers enough. You can't really put a number on that for the impact that they have in the lives of those students that are coming into their classrooms and how they impact them. And my mother being a retired school teacher, and you look back at all of the lives that she's impacted and all the lives that she's touched, can you really put a price tag on that? But look, what I know about her is it doesn't matter what the school board paid her. I know what God is blessing her with, and I know the blessing that God is bringing to her because she was walking in a calling. She didn't just have a job. She had something that she was called to. So yes, the course was hard. Yes, there were hardships. Yes, there were trials. Yes, there were tribulations through it. But he said, as he says in James, the 1st chapter, count it all joy when you go through these various trials, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. How can you get through a course that is difficult? Because you're called to it. When you're called to it, you can endure more than you would be able to endure if you wasn't called to it. So sometimes what happens is the reason why you're not able to get through what you're going through is because you're trying to go through something you ain't been called to. Because if you've been called to it, you're going to go through it. Because you know it's greater than yourself. It's greater than anything that you can imagine of doing on your own. Because you've been called to it. The course is the calling. The course is the calling. Oh, that's awesome right there. He designed it to call you. He designed the course for the course to call out to you to come do something greater than you can do by yourself. It's beyond. I know it's difficult when you look at it as a whole, when you look at it the big picture. How will a little bit of me do this big old thing? But I know that we serve a God that will take the ordinary and do extraordinary things. He would take the one that's counted out and count them up to count them above all the rest. If you just hold on, if you just stick in there, God is bringing you to a place of victory. You have to believe it, and you have to know that you are enough for what the call that God has for you. So let's talk about the Christian. Come on, I'm going to skip forward. See, the course is the race. But now I want to talk about you in the race. So I use Christian just to keep the seeds. We're talking about the course, we're talking about the Christian, and we're talking about the Christ. So now let's talk about you in the race. He designed the race, but he designed you for the race. So what do I have to understand? I have to understand that I am called and set apart and separated for this purpose. He has set me apart for a time as this. This is your due season. And in order to get to your due season, you cannot faint. The scripture says you will reap if you faint not. In due season, you will reap if you faint not. If you faint, that means you're lacking endurance and you're lacking faith. The course is building faith, and he's building you, but he's using the course to build you to get to your expected end. So if he called you to the race, it's for a purpose. And watch this. You are enough. Look, you're not lacking anything. God designed you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. As it says, Genesis, the first chapter and verse 26. We are made in his image after his likeness. And he said, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the bird, the cattle, the fowl, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. He says, let them have dominion. Not only did he create us in his image, but he also gives us dominion. Watch this. You have dominion over the course that he has given you. You have the authority to finish that course. You have the equipment to finish. You not only do you have the authority, but you have the potential for the purpose. So on the inside of you is dormant ability. It's hidden treasure. It's everything that God made you to be to overcome all the obstacles that are going to be faced in the course that he has given you to walk. But you have to believe that I am enough. See, sometimes we're looking at other people's course and we're looking at their shoes, trying to fit their shoes instead of fitting the shoes that God made. Because you might think your shoes is Lucky Boys, what we used to call them growing up, meaning no name brand. You trying to put on a name brand shoe for somebody else's race, but God has a name brand shoe for your race, and it got your name on it. So look, you trying to wear somebody else's name to run your race. That's not going to work. Come on, say it with me. That dog won't hunt. You have to run the race that God has given to you because he designed you for the race. He designed you for the race. So that means he made you enough. That means he equipped you enough. And that means he set you up for victory because he said he's going to give you an expected end. So you got to expect to get to that end. Yes, you are enough. If he knew you couldn't, watch this. Check this point out. If he knew you couldn't be a parent, then he wouldn't give you children to parent. If he didn't purpose you to be a mother, then he wouldn't allow you to have a child. If he didn't purpose you to be a father, then he wouldn't allow you to have the child. So just because you try to escape your responsibility, he still designed you for the responsibility. So there are those that take the responsibility, and there are those that don't take the responsibility, but you are still made for the mission. Don't abort the mission if you've been made. I don't know how I'm going to do this. You may not. But guess what? Just like he's designed the course, and just like he's designed you for the course, guess what he's also done? He's also gave you Christ. Christ is to us the strength that we need to get through the course. So the course is the race. The Christian is you in the race. And watch this. The Christ is Christ in you in the race. So if he designed the race for you, he designed you for the race, and then he gives us Christ in the race so you cannot lose. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. So therefore, I don't have to run this race that's designed for me on my own. He has given me also the strength to run the race. Look what he says in Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things, but I do all those things through Christ who gives me the strength. He made the race, he made me for the race, and he gave me the victory. Who is the victory? It says in Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, let's go back to it. We're out of time. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is now set down at the right hand of the Father. He ran his race so that we can run our race. That's why I was excited about it on Sunday. He's risen so we can run. He got up so we can run our race to completion. So we can be as Paul was and says, I fought a good fight. I finished the course. What did he say? I kept the faith. See, the enemy is coming to steal, kill, and destroy so that you can get away from God, to give up and to give in and lose what God is bringing you to. Don't be the person that sold the business or sold the circumstances right before you struck gold. If you know the story, there's a person that bought this mine and was mining for gold and kept digging and kept digging and kept digging and wasn't getting nowhere and decided, you know what, I'm going to just sell it and I'm going to give up and I'm going to give in. And when he sold it, the people that he sold it to went a little bit further and struck gold. All the effort. Look, he brought you this far. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. He's building something in you. It's time for you to say, you know what? Greater is he that's in me. And I'm going to finish my course and I'm going to keep the faith. But you have to do so understanding that you have Christ in you, the hope of glory. Look what it says in Colossians 1:27, and I'll leave you with this. God makes known to us what is the riches of his glory, the riches of this mystery among the Gentiles is Christ in you, the hope of glory. God's whole plan and purpose of sending his son to die for us and him rising again, it's for us, for him to dwell in us, to give us the victory. And now by faith, we're able to have the strength necessary. Look, I can hear Paul saying, take this thorn from me. You feel like you running on the race and you got a thorn in your shoe and you're asking God 3 times, remove this thorn from me. And God says, my grace is sufficient for you. When you are weak, then he is strong. Don't lean to yourself on how to get through the race. Lean on Christ and he's going to get you through the race. Beloved, I wish above all that you would prosper, be in health, even as your soul prosper. That's the end of our midweek medicine. I hope something in the word encouraged you to get through the rest of your week. Find you a place on this Sunday to get fellowship and worship and watch God do some amazing things in your life. God bless you, and I thank you for joining.